Okay guys, I'm going to make my version of a chicken biryani. I'm going to loosely follow the directions on this Shan chicken biryani seasoning mix box. So they have the steps of cooking highlighted here, but I'm not going to follow this completely. So that's why I said I'm going to be doing my version of it. Okay, but I'm going to loosely follow some of the things mentioned here. So for example, they say here to use green chilies, but unfortunately I don't have green chilies, so I'm going to be using seasoning peppers for my own. Okay, so I'm going to start with cutting up these seasoning peppers, and yeah, you guys just going to follow along as I go about step by step. Okay. So in my version of the chicken biryani, I'm going to be adding some red bell pepper to my own and some cabbage. So it's optional. Some people add potato. I don't have any potato, but I had this piece of cabbage, so I decided I will add that to it as well. And I also want to use up this red bell pepper that I have, so I said I will also add it to it as well. Right, let me just cut up this now. All right, so we have this we're going to add to it. Now in my version, I'm going to be adding some fresh turmeric to my rice to give it a color. In some of the versions out there, you see people using food coloring. No, I would not do that. If I want to give color to my rice, I'm going to use the fresh turmeric to do that. Okay, so I just grated some fresh turmeric here on top of my rice. I washed my rice out completely until the water was running clear. And as for the chicken, this is some chicken breast that I have cut up here. And what I did, again, I did something a little different. So I seasoned the chicken last night. And I used the biryani seasoning packet here. It comes with the seasoning packet in here. So I used that in order to season the chicken overnight so that, you know, the flavor gets to be infused into the chicken. And I also put some coconut milk in it as well. So that is the variation, or the where I deviated from what the box said. Okay. So that's what I did here. I used the seasoning packet and I used some coconut milk, and I seasoned this from last night. Okay guys, so we're going to prepare to boil our rice. So here I have my 2 cups of basmati rice that I washed already, and I just grated some fresh turmeric for the color. So what we're going to do is, now if you had chili pepper, this is the point where you could have used your chili pepper as well in the dish. Besides putting it in the meat, you could also have added it to the rice. So I don't have chili pepper, so I'm going to be using my seasoning pepper here. I have about 3 seasoning peppers from my garden that I cut up. And I'm just going to fry up the seasoning peppers with a little bit of salt at this point in time, and then we're going to add about, I will add about between 6 to 8 cups of water in order to boil my rice. Now we don't want our rice fully cooked, okay, so we're going to cook the rice to about 85% cooked, not fully cooked. We're going to do it about 85%. So I'm going to boil my rice for about 6.5 minutes, and then we're going to strain it. Okay, I'm adding a little bit of coconut oil here. I'm just infusing the oil. Okay, so at this point we're going to add our water. Alright, so that was 6 cups. So I'm going to bring this up to a boil, and then I will add the rice in, and then I will start the timer for about 6.5 minutes. Okay guys, so as you can see my water is boiling, so I decided what I'll do to add a little extra color to my rice. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of kashmiri chili powder to give my rice a little color. Alright, let's add the rice in. So I'm cooking my rice to about 85% doneness. So I have my timer set to fully cook the rice. It takes about 8 minutes, this rice that I'm using. So I have my timer set for 6.5 minutes to boil. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to fry our onions until golden brown. So the instruction says use 1 cup of oil. That is way too much oil, so I'm not using all of that. And so we're going to fry these onions until golden brown, and then I'll be back. Alright, so now that our onions are lightly golden brown, let's add our chicken in. I'm going to add in some ginger garlic paste. And I'm going to add in some dry curry leaves. Alright, I'm going to cover this and allow it to cook. Remember, this is chicken breast, so it's boneless. So I'm going to cover it and allow it to cook for about 10 minutes. Okay guys, at this point I'm going to be adding in my cabbage and my red bell pepper. This is not traditional for chicken biryani. Usually people will add potatoes or tomatoes, but I don't want to add tomatoes and I don't have potatoes. So I'm just going to be using some cabbage that I had left over in the fridge and some bell pepper that I had left over in the fridge. Alright, so we're going to cover and allow this to continue to cook. Okay, so what we're going to do is start layering our biryani. So we're going to put down some rice here first in our pot. Put a layer of rice at the bottom. Okay. Now we're going to put our chicken on top of this. And then we're going to put the rest of the rice on top of this. So we have our flame on a very low heat. And we're going to cover this to simmer on a low heat for about 2 to 5 minutes.